Let us solve another problem using mesh analysis. So for the circuit given here, find the current in all the branches using mesh analysis. So this is our circuit, and here we can see 3 loops. Okay, so let this be loop 1, this is loop 2, and this is loop 3. Okay, so first of all, identify the loops. First of all, check whether the circuit is planar or not. So here it is planar. Thereafter, identify the loops and mark current in all the loops. So here I am marking all the currents in clockwise direction. So for loop 1, this will be current I1, and current in loop 2 will be I2, and current in loop 3 will be I3. Okay, so I have considered 3 loops and marked currents corresponding to all the 3 loops, and all currents are marked in clockwise direction. Now consider each of the loops and apply Kirchhoff's voltage law. So first of all, I am considering loop 1 and applying KVL to loop 1. Okay, so this is loop 1. So let us start tracing the circuit in any particular direction. So I am going to trace the circuit in clockwise direction, that is the same direction as that of the current flow. So I will be starting from this particular point. Okay, when I am moving like this, I am moving from the negative terminal to positive terminal of the battery. So there is a rise in potential, and battery voltage should be taken as positive, that is plus 50. So now I am coming like this through the 10 ohm resistor. So regarding the 10 ohm resistor, the direction in which I am moving and the direction of current flow are the same. So there is a potential drop, and voltage across this 10 ohm resistor should be marked as negative. So minus 10 into I1. So minus 10 into I1. So I am coming like this, and the next component that I am going to consider is this 5 ohm resistor, and the direction in which I am moving and the direction of current flow, direction of I1, is the same. So voltage drop on 5 ohm resistor due to I1 will be negative, because the direction of moving and the direction of flow of I1 are the same. So voltage on 5 ohm resistor due to I1 will be negative. So minus, and voltage drop is 5 into I1. So minus 5 into I1. So now we can see that this resistor 5 ohm is common to loop 1 as well as loop 2. So this current I2 is also flowing through this 5 ohm resistor. So when I am applying KVL to the loop 1, I am proceeding in this particular direction. So starting from here, I am moving like this. Okay. So regarding 5 ohm resistor, I am moving from its top point to the bottom point, whereas I2 is flowing from the bottom to top. So I2 is flowing in the opposite direction. So voltage drop on this 5 ohm resistor due to the current I2 will be positive. Current flow and the direction in which I am moving are opposite. So there is a potential rise, and the voltage drop across the resistor should be taken as positive, that is 5 into I2. Okay, 5 into I2. Now, so I have considered the 5 ohm resistor, and next component of loop 1 is this 3 ohm resistor. So I am moving in this direction. Current I1 is also flowing in the same direction. So voltage drop on 3 ohm resistor due to I1 will be negative, and it is minus 3 into I1. Okay. Now this 3 ohm resistor is common to loop 1 and loop 3. So there will be a voltage drop on 3 ohm resistor due to I3 also. So I3, we can see this current I3 is also flowing through this 3 ohm resistor, and we are proceeding in this particular direction, and I3 is flowing in the opposite direction. So voltage drop on 3 ohm resistor due to I3 will be positive, and it will be plus 3 into I3. Okay, so we have considered the voltage across all the components, and according to Kirchhoff's voltage law, the algebraic sum of voltages in around a closed mesh will be 0. So this algebraic sum will be 0. So now let us rearrange the equation. Okay, 50. So there are three terms containing I1, minus 10 I1, minus 3 I1 and minus 5 I1. So 15 minus 3 minus 18 I1 plus 5 I2 plus 3 I3 equal to 0. So as I have said in the previous problems, we have to rearrange the equation in such a way that this constant voltage term is on the right hand side and the terms containing the unknown currents I1, I2 and I3 on the left hand side. Okay, so it will become 18 I1 minus 5 I2 plus minus 3 I3 is equal to 50, and this is our equation number 1. Okay, the equation corresponding to loop 1. The equation should be arranged in such a way that that constant term is on the right hand side and the variable terms containing I1, I2 and I3 on the left hand side, and these terms should be arranged in such a way that the term containing I1 comes first, the term containing I2 comes second and I3 comes third. So if we are arranging the equation like this, it will be easier to form the matrix representation. Okay, so we got the equation 1, so let us note it down here. Equation 1 is 18 I1 minus 5 I2 minus 3 I3 is equal to 50. So this is equation number 1. Now consider loop 2. Okay, so considering loop 2 and applying KVL to loop 2. So this is our loop 2. So we have marked current in clockwise direction. Now let us trace the circuit in clockwise direction itself. So I will be starting from this particular point. So I am moving like this. Current I2 is also flowing in the same direction. So voltage drop on 5 ohm resistor due to I2 will be negative. So that is minus 5 into I2. Minus 5 into I2. Now this 5 ohm resistor is common to loop 2 as well as loop 1. So current I1 is also flowing through this 5 ohm resistor, and in loop 2 I am proceeding in this direction, but I1 is flowing in the opposite direction. So voltage drop on 5 ohm resistor due to I1 will be positive, and that will be 5 into I1. So plus 5 into I1. Now I am proceeding like this, and the second component is this 2 ohm resistor. So current flowing through this 2 ohm resistor is I2. I am moving in this direction. Current I2 is also flowing in the same direction. So there is a potential drop in the 2 ohm resistor, and that should be marked as negative, and its value is equal to 2 into I2. So minus 2 I2. And next component is this 10 volt battery. So I am proceeding like this, that is from positive terminal to negative terminal of the battery. So there is a drop in potential, and battery voltage should be marked as negative. So minus 10. Next component is this 1 ohm resistor. So I am moving like this. I am proceeding in this direction. Current I2 is also flowing in the same direction. So drop on 1 ohm resistor due to I2 will be negative. So minus, and that drop is 1 into I2. That is I2. Now this 1 ohm resistor is common to loop 2 and loop 3. So current I3 will also flow through this 1 ohm resistor. So in loop 2 I am proceeding in this direction, that is proceeding like this. But see current I3 is flowing like this. Okay, I3 is flowing like this. It will circulate like this. So this is the direction in which I am proceeding, and I3 is flowing in the opposite direction. That means voltage drop on 1 ohm resistor due to I3 will be positive. So plus, and the value is 1 into I3, that is I3. And according to Kirchhoff's voltage law, the algebraic sum of all the voltages will be equal to 0. Now rearrange the equation. So 5I1, write the term containing I1 first, 5I1, then the term containing I2. So there is minus 5I2, minus 2I2, minus I2, that is minus 8I2, then term containing I3, plus I3, and take the constant term to the right hand side. So 10. This is equation number 2. 5I1 minus 8I2 plus I3 is equal to 10. So let us note it down here. Okay. Okay, now let us consider loop 3 and apply KVL to loop 3. So applying KVL. So this is loop 3. Let us start from this point. I will be moving in the clockwise direction. So I will be moving like this. Then I am moving from bottom point to the top point of 3 ohm resistor. So current I3 is also flowing in the same direction. I am moving like this. I3 is also flowing in the same direction. So drop across 3 ohm resistor due to I3 will be negative, and that is minus 3 into I3. So minus 3 I3, and 3 ohm resistor is common to loop 3 and loop 1. So I1 will also flow through this 3 ohm resistor, and I am proceeding in this direction. I1 is flowing in the opposite direction. So drop on 3 ohm resistor due to I1 will be positive. So plus 3 into I1. Okay. Now the second component is 1 ohm resistor. I am proceeding like this. So second component is 1 ohm resistor, and the direction in which I am proceeding and the direction of I3 are the same. So drop on 1 ohm, drop across 1 ohm resistor due to I3 will be negative, and that is minus 1 into I3, that is minus I3. Now through I3, current I2 is also flowing. So there will be a drop on 1 ohm resistor due to I2 also. And I am proceeding in this direction, but I2 is flowing in the opposite direction. So drop on 1 ohm resistor due to I2 will be positive. So plus 1 into I2, that is I2. So next component is this 5 volt battery. So I am proceeding in this direction, that is from positive to negative terminal of the battery. So there is a drop in potential and battery voltage should be marked as negative. So algebraic sum of voltages equal to 0. Now let us rearrange. So term containing I1 first, that is 3I1. Term containing I2 next, plus I2. Term containing I3 last. So minus 3I3 minus I3, that is minus 4I3. And constant term on the right hand side, which is equal to 5. This is equation number 3. 3I1 minus plus I2 minus 4I3 is equal to 5. Okay. So we have got 3 equations and we have 3 unknowns, I1, I2 and I3. So we know how to solve these equations. So let us use Cramer's rule for solving the equations. So we can represent these 3 equations in a matrix form as a resistance matrix into a current matrix is equal to a voltage matrix. So resistance matrix is the coefficient of I1, I2 and I3 in these 3 equations, This matrix I is the column matrix containing the unknown currents I1, I2 and I3. This is the column matrix containing the EMF of the batteries V1, V2 and V3. Okay, so now let us write the expression. So if we are having a 3-loop matrix, or if we are having 3 unknowns and 3 equations, order of this resistance matrix will be 3 by 3. Order of matrix I will be 3 by 1. And order of matrix V will also be 3 by 1. So now let us write the matrix. So this is the resistance matrix, also known as the coefficient matrix, and it will be having 3 rows, and first row corresponds to first equation. So write the coefficient of I1, I2 and I3 from the first equation. So this will be 18. Coefficient of I1 in the first equation is 18. That of I2 is minus 5. That of I3 is minus 3. And write the second row from the second equation. So in the second equation, coefficient of I1 is 5. Coefficient of I2 is minus 8. And coefficient of I3 is 1. And write the third row from the third equation. Coefficient of I1 is 3. Coefficient of I2 is 1 and coefficient of I3 is minus 4. Now here the unknown currents I1, I2 and I3. And on the right hand side, the constant voltage terms on the right hand side, 50, 10 and 5. Okay, this is a matrix representation. Now after writing the matrix representation, we can calculate the currents, unknown currents I1, I2 and I3. Okay, so according to Cramer's rule, I1, the unknown current I1 is calculated as the ratio of two determinants. That is, I1 is equal to delta 1 divided by delta, where delta 1 is the determinant of that matrix which is obtained by replacing the first column of the resistance matrix by the voltage matrix. And delta is the determinant of the original resistance matrix. So let us see how will we get delta 1. Okay, so I1 is equal to delta 1 divided by delta, and delta 1 is the determinant of that matrix which is obtained by replacing the first column of the resistance matrix by the voltage matrix. So instead of the first column, write the voltage matrix, that is 50, 10 and 5, and the remaining two columns will be the same. So minus 5, minus 8, 1 and minus 3, 1 and minus 4. Okay, and divided by delta. Delta is the determinant of this matrix, that is determinant of 18, 5, 3, minus 5, minus 8, 1 and minus 3, 1, minus 4. Okay, so this will be I1, and so you know how to calculate the determinant of a matrix. So on calculating the determinant, we will get the answer as determinant of this matrix delta 1 will be 1175 divided by 356. So determinant of original resistance matrix is 356. So 1175 divided by 356, you will get the value of I1 as 3.30 ampere. So I1 equals 3.30 ampere. Now let us calculate I2. Okay, and I2 will be equal to delta 2 divided by delta, where delta 2 is the determinant of that matrix which is obtained by replacing the second column of the resistance matrix by the voltage matrix. Okay, so write the resistance matrix, that is 18, 5, 3, and instead of the second column, write the voltage matrix, that is 50, 10 and 5. And the third column is the same, minus 3, 1 and minus 4. Okay, divided by delta. That's just delta is the determinant of the original resistance matrix, that is 356. So the answer will be, so you know how to calculate the determinant of this matrix, and divided by 356 we will get the value of I2 as 0.997 ampere. Okay, so do it by yourself, calculate the determinant and check whether the answer equals 0.997 amperes. So now let us calculate the current I3, and I3 will be equal to delta 3 divided by delta, where delta 3 is the determinant of that matrix, which is obtained by replacing the third column of the resistance matrix by the voltage matrix. So it will become 18, 5, 3, minus 5, minus 8, 1, and instead of the third column write the voltage matrix 50, 10 and 5. Okay, divided by delta. So on calculating these two determinants and on dividing them, we'll get the value of I3 as 1.474 ampere. Okay, so the value of I1 we got it as 3.30 ampere. So I1 is 3.30 ampere, I2 is 0.997 ampere, and I3 is 1.474 ampere. Okay, so that means all the currents I1, I2 and I3 are positive. That means the assumed directions for I1, I2 and I3 are correct. So we got the loop currents I1, I2 and I3, and we have been asked to calculate the current in all the branches using mesh analysis. So we have to calculate the current through each of these elements. Okay, after getting I1, I2 and I3, it is very easy to calculate the branch currents. So we know I1, so current through this branch is I1 only. So current through this resistor is I1 only, and current through this 5 ohm resistor is I1 in this direction and I2 in the opposite direction. So current through 5 ohm is I1 minus I2, and this 3 ohm I1 in this direction and I3 in the opposite direction. So it will be I1 minus I3, and current through this 1 ohm resistor is I2 in one direction and I3 in the opposite direction. So I2 minus I3. Current through this 2 ohm is I2, this battery is I2, and through this 5 volt is I3. Okay, so you can easily calculate the current through different branches.